All right, so we're back, and Misfits, the Prime card, 10, I think it's supposed to be, is October 14th, but we have some hurdles to get through, some stumbling blocks, some bumps in the road, some personal yet public insults and information that, quite frankly, is degrading and terrorizing to Logan Paul and his entire family. What I mean is Dillon Danis calls himself the bad guy, and he is, as of this fight between him and Logan Paul becoming public, now completely turned into that. By bringing up Logan Paul's fiance, her past discretion, and bringing up Logan's past, well, complete f***ups, Dillon Danis is putting up more of a fight in the build-up to a fight than any other fights that he hasn't had in the last 3 years, because he hasn't fought. But the question now is Dillon Danis taking this a little too far? Like, is there a difference between promotion and crossing the line? Because rumors are Dillon Danis and Logan Paul's fight is in jeopardy, potential lawsuits incoming. There's just a lot to get to, and so I guess there's only one thing left to say. I'm going to take a page out of Logan Paul's PR team after Dillon Danis started his onslaught, because it's time for the breakdown. Let's go. Guys, just give me 1 second. I know I'm interrupting the video, but I needed to tell you guys about today's sponsor of the video, MyBookie. Because folks, mybookie.ag is the spot to be for all of your sports betting needs. That includes this Saturday, UFC 292, Aljo Sterling, Sugar Sean O'Malley. They're facing off for the 135-pound belt. That's right, the best bantamweight in the world in UFC's main event. If you guys want to put money down, I'm going to tell you my picks, and usually that means the opposite happens, but for this one, I'm going with Aljamain Sterling. I'm taking him by decision here. I think the backpack, hey, position gets it done, and Sugar Sean just cannot keep up with the grappling. And you guys can get in on the action in that main event by using code WADE when you sign up at MyBookie for up to $1,000 in deposit match bonuses. But that's not all that's on this card. You have the Women's Strawweight Championship in the co-main event. You have Neil Magny, Ian Machado, Gary, Marlon Vera, Pedro Munoz. This card is stacked, but it isn't just that. We have baseball. We have football coming right around the corner. The preseason's already started. You guys are going to want to get in on all the action. Once again, using code WADE when you sign up at mybookie.ag for up to $1,000 in deposit match bonuses. And of course, as always, guys, you have to be of legal age to use MyBookie, and please gamble responsibly. Thank you to MyBookie for sponsoring this video, and now let's get back into Dillon Danis' terrorization of Logan Paul. Okay, so let's be honest about something. One, I am going to say right off rip, I do not condone what Dillon Danis is doing. I think it's tasteless. I think it's complete garbage and the very lowest form of comedy you can have toward an individual. And again, the big overarching theme of Dillon's trash talk to Logan has been about Logan's fiance, which again, I think is complete trash. I don't think it's something that you should be doing in the fight game or any other game, talking about people's family. But just because I don't like it, just because I think it's wrong, and just because I don't condone it, I would never do it, doesn't mean that Dillon Danis can't do it. And we're going to start splitting more hairs than Logan Paul has on his head here, so pay attention. What I'm telling you guys is, yes, in my opinion, this is the wrong way to promote. In my opinion, Dillon is, again, tasteless for doing this. This is not something I think is cool, but this is the fight game. People say and do mean things to each other. It's gone on through the history of this game. At one point, Sonny Liston pulled out a pop gun on Muhammad Ali and shot it in the middle of a crowded room. Again, it was a pop gun, but still, Mike Tyson, and excuse your ears, young ones, if you don't want to hear this, but it happened, told a member of the media and or the crowd and his face-off for his fight with Lennox Lewis that he would eat his children and fuck that man until he loved him. That's word for word, bar for bar. Conor McGregor got super dark in talking about the family and religious practices of Khabib Nurmagomedov. John Jones and Daniel Cormier actually fought each other at a press conference, threw punches, and connected. That, ladies and gentlemen, outside of an octagon is called assault. Fighters across time have talked about other fighters' wives and what they would do to them after they beat said fighter. KSI reenacted Logan's dead dog in one of their press conferences and then put Logan's, at the time, girlfriend's face on his face, and then weighed in with that mask, and then put on a wig and made fun of Logan Paul's apology for the Japan suicide forest video. What I'm trying to say with all this is the fight game isn't nice, and this is a place where really there are no rules outside of legalities getting involved. But the point of the whole thing is Dillon Danis does have a right to do this as long as the promotion and the people behind the scenes, I'm talking Misfits and DAZN, are on board, and that is something I'm not sure about. So August 11th, 3 days ago at the time of recording this, Dillon put out a tweet that said, apparently Misfits is censoring me, saying I went too far and threatening to pull the fight. WTF with the laugh emoji. This was shocking to me, but at the same time, I don't know if it's just Misfits trying to pull this fight or even DAZN getting involved. I have a feeling that Logan Paul has reached out to Misfits and DAZN and said, hey, I will not fight this guy if he continues to do that. And I think, again, it's Logan's personal decision, and I understand he's trying to defend his fiancée, but the way, in my opinion, you would defend that individual in this moment is not to pull out of the fight and make him pay for saying those things by not fighting him and time just moving on. You make him pay for those things, in my opinion, by going in and
beating his ass, son.
The problem is, this is what Logan signed up for, and he's trying to control what Dillon says about him and his fiancée by threatening to pull out of the fight or having Misfits threaten Dillon with censorship. That stuff only reflects that Logan Paul is having a hard time dealing with Dillon Danis getting in his head. And I'm not saying, again, that Logan should be happy with this. I'm not saying it's okay and that Logan should just be like, all right, I'm just going to let him talk his shit. What I am saying is you make him pay by fighting him and beating him into a pulp. That is the ultimate revenge. That's the ultimate silencer. Dillon can say nothing if he walks in there and Logan beats the absolute shit out of him and sends him packing. And on top of that, we're not just talking about Logan or Misfits or whoever potentially trying to pull this fight. Logan has now, it's been confirmed by Happy Punch, talked to his legal team and is threatening legal action against Dillon if he does not stop talking about his fiancée in the buildup. And again, this one I can kind of understand as far as like, okay, obviously the fiancé is upset about it. Logan's upset about it. You don't want to necessarily put your loved one in the middle of the spotlight for things that they didn't necessarily ask for or asked to be a part of in this case. And the only way to get Dillon to potentially stop doing that before they fight is maybe getting legal involved. I still see it as a non-factor. I don't even know what legality this could fall under as far as what you can actually sue Dillon for or have him charged for. Like, he's posting, to my knowledge, public pictures of Logan's fiancée. And again, saying it's a good thing. It's not. It's a terrible thing. You shouldn't do this. It's the lowest form of trolling and poking the bear that Dillon's even attempted. Like, it's so easy to do. It's not even anything that takes any kind of real effort. It's just trying to get into Logan's head. But the fact that Logan is trying to get legal teams involved with it once again, and again, I'm not a legal expert, but I don't think there's any grounds to do that, just shows that Dillon is doing exactly what he wants to do. Get in Logan's head. What do you guys think that Dillon got all of this promotional play that he does? These games, these mind games that he's playing with Logan, the fact that he's gone right after Logan personally. He studied Conor McGregor. He studied Chael Sonnen. He is playing this game exactly how they would. And again, these are personal things. These are things that are cutting deep, and it's a way for him to just have a little bit of an advantage, just to test Logan's will a little bit, or test his mind, test his mental strength. And quite frankly, for Dillon, he's been terrorized by the Paul brothers. They've all been talking back and forth for years. They talked about Dillon's girlfriend and potentially, I think, maybe did stuff. I'm not even sure. Yes, I talked about his mother multiple times, and then Jake ran up on him in LA, and we talked about the toilet paper incident. Like, they have been going back and forth, and I'm not excusing what Dillon's doing, but obviously he sees this as his way to, again, finally get his get back right before the fight. And now with Conor McGregor coming out and saying he's going to train Dillon, and potentially whatever comes with that, maybe Conor is in the corner, maybe he's there at the press conference, at the weigh-ins, at fight night. You know this trash talk is only going to get worse. It's only going to ramp up further. And the greatest example of that is what Conor McGregor said in an interview he did before the Anthony Joshua fight a couple nights ago, where he said, listen, Logan's already backtracking. They're going to put a bill on us. We're going to put a bill on them, mate. And I know that Logan put out a picture on Instagram where Dillon and Conor were making out. And then he came out with a video today, and his epic comeback was to call Dillon Danis Dillon Donuts. But at the end of the video, Logan did what I thought was a better idea, which was take out the father, then take out the son. He starts talking to Conor McGregor, and now that Conor is, again, personally involved, that is where you stick the nail in. That is where you poke the bear a bit. And Logan said, hey, Conor, you know, you're confident in your boy. Let's do $1 million bet. Although Logan probably shouldn't be betting $1 million when he owes 1.6 to the people he scammed the crypto zoo. Anyway, I do like the idea of Logan going at Conor, and quite frankly, the only way you can do this, you can't out-troll Dillon Danis. Like Logan trying to do that in the video earlier, it's not going to work. So you have to find a way to either be the baby face here and talk that cool guy shit, or just tell Dillon exactly what it is. By saying something like, hey man, you wanted to talk about my fiance? Yeah, that's cool, but it doesn't take a big man to do that. In fact, it takes a very small man to do stuff like that. And I don't know, something like, I'm gonna show you on fight night what happens to people that talk about my family. Like, really get serious with him, because it is serious to Logan. It's already in his head. And be like, yeah, Dillon, look, you got in my head. Great job, man. The problem is, that's the last place you want to be. You just sealed your fate, because getting in my head means I'm not stopping the thought of knocking you out daily in my head. I'm training harder because of it. You're in my head, but that means you're in my dreams. You're in my thoughts. I cannot wait to get to you. I'm visualizing it every day, and I can't wait to step in that ring and manifest exactly what I'm gonna do. Get that serious with him, legitimately. Like, if you're gonna get serious, and Logan already is, clearly, by the threat of legal action and potentially pulling out of the fight, do that in a way that gets it through to Dillon that, yeah, you awoke the animal. Now it's time. Now you wanna talk. Let's settle it. Step up in that way instead of doing the whole, I'm gonna pull out of the fight and I'm gonna get Misfits to censor you, or just whack, dude. It's just soft. It's not the way to respond to this kind of stuff, because it's only going to pile on further. And again, we have to say this. Fair play to Dillon. Listen, again, I wouldn't do it this way. And it's silly to even think that this is the only way you could promote, but he is getting people interested. The numbers prove that Dillon is the one promoting this card, quite frankly, more at this moment than anybody else on the card, including KSI and Tommy Fury. It's just the fact of what it is. Dillon is the one that is getting the community engaged across multiple platforms. He's bringing in Conor McGregor. There's a lot of build he's bringing, whether you like the way he's doing it or not. And apparently, as of recording, this is about a week away from the first announcement press conference between KSI and Tommy Fury, and I'm pretty sure Logan and Dillon are going to be there. I don't know that to be 100% fact, but if that's the case, that's another opportunity for Dillon to completely terrorize this man. So Logan has to be ready for this. That's the whole point of this video. He has to be ready for things he's uncomfortable with, things that he doesn't want to confront, and things that Dillon's absolutely going to say, because otherwise Dillon's just going to keep hammering away at that nail and driving it further and further and further until he either drives Logan crazy or gets in his head to a degree that we've already seen Logan struggle with when he gets rattled, either before a fight, KSI UK press conference, y'all remember that one? Yeah, the one where GP got smacked upside the head by one of the people. Again, don't condone that either. All I'm saying is that rattled Logan, and then on fight night in the first and second one when things weren't going his way. So all I'm saying is no, Dillon's not promoting in a way I appreciate and or condone, and no, I don't agree with the way he's doing it, but like I said, mean things are going to get said between the two. And Logan has to be ready, and he has to be better at deflecting than this. Because if not, and the only thing to stop it is saying, I'm going to pull out of the fight, well, it just kills the hype of the fight anyway and makes everyone disinterested in it to begin with. It almost puts Logan in a light to look, again, like he's a little bit emotionally soft. That doesn't seem to me like it's the right way to go about it, but I guess to each their own, and Dillon's definitely not in the right for the way he's going about this. But on Logan's side, again, you're seeing it in the public now. I don't think he's in any way right in the way he's going about it at all, but to each their own. All I know is, if I'm answering the question, has Dillon gone too far with his promotion of this fight and legal letters being sent and threats to censor him and cancel the fight if not? I think the latter is the big issue. Yes, Dillon's saying very mean, very crude, and showing very vulgar things about Logan's family and future family, but this is the fight game. Mean and ugly and vulgar and detrimental, demonstrative, and flat out fucking awful things are gonna be said and done. But at the end of the day, Logan has his opportunity to respond and get his revenge in that squared circle on October 14th. That is the day you prove Dillon wrong. That's the day you prove yourself and everybody else in your family right, that you were the guy to go down and shut Dillon up finally, because that's the whole point of this. Shut Dillon Danis up. You want him to be quiet? There's one way to do it. Actually throw one of these and land it directly on the kisser, and then you can ask Dillon what he's got to say. Whatever happens, October 14th and August 22nd, even before that, is going to be the presser. So in both those cases, if we can get to the finish line, Dillon versus Logan is becoming the most personal and, quite frankly, most interesting fight on the card. Does it even happen? I don't have those answers, but guess we'll find out.